Well, hello. It is good to see everybody. Welcome to Wood Spun Around. This is my cave that I turn in. We're going to see what we can do tonight. It is hashtag week, and so uh, what I've got here is my practice piece. Bring that up so you can see it. It's a piece of walnut, and we've used some space dust paint on it and put it on with the airbrush. This is an airbrush paint, and so I thought I don't think I've seen it put on with an airbrush before. And so we're going to try putting it on with an airbrush. Bring in my esteemed earworm, Wayne. Uh-oh, I almost clicked the wrong button, Wayne. Talking about technical problems. Wayne the Wood Turner
Good
is
evening,
helping
everybody.
us. Oh, so glad to have you. Wayne will be relaying any questions you might have or any well, we'll just leave it at questions. There'll probably be some other things other than questions, but that it'll all be fine.
Yeah,
In fact, as I get started here in a second, Wayne, you can read out all the folks in the chat. Let me switch
I will.
cameras
I
and
will
show.
certainly do that.
Yeah, I'll
Doug
switch.
and Doug and I were just talking before we went live, and I haven't used the space dust with an airbrush. You want to stick me in the background as well, Doug?
Yes, there we go.
There we go.
We've got a piece of a walnut, and it looks like it's already turned. Well, it is. This is the main beam, the vertical beam from a spinning wheel. A friend of mine had an old spinning wheel, and she's trying to downsize, and so she kept the big wheel. She's hanging it up on her wall, and she gave me the rest of it. It's all loose. It was very easy to disassemble. This is like that main post that comes up that holds all the goodies toward the back end of the spinning wheel. So that's what we're going to use. It is walnut. I suspected it was something else, but then as I turned my practice piece, for sure it is walnut without any doubt. So I'm going to get started turning a tenon on this end and just kind of making sure it's all round. And Wayne, you can go ahead and read out our participants for tonight.
No problem. So, you were first in, Doug. Saying hello to everybody. Gerard is in. I'm here. Brian with a Y is in. Roy's the boy. Hi, Roy. Ward. Brian's putting out, he's exporting his latest video whilst watching this, and all being well, he should be able to put that out tomorrow night.
Very good.
Todd's in. That's at Glen Cove. Jennifer's in. Hi, Jennifer. Terry Bartlett from Plymouth. Kev at 9K Creations. Hi, Kev. Old Man River Wood Turning. Barry Chitty. Still scrolling down. Nearly to the bottom. Graham Hain is in as well. If I have missed anybody, please put something in the chat and I will get your name read out.
All right, welcome everybody. It's good to have you all in here tonight. Did have some of you probably saw it already. I've had a event take place, reached the 900 mark. We were short of that the other day, and
Excellent.
we're there now, and so I'm pretty happy about that. Now we just got to get to 1,000, right?
That's it. Paul
All
Hayden's
right.
just come in. Evening,
Hey, Paul. Got my tenon on there, so we'll take everything off and get this step center taken out. I don't remember if I said anything the other night or not. I've got my lathe way too close to this wall to my left here, and so I have to turn the headstock to take a center out of the spindle. Kind of annoying once in a while, but it works. It just when I'm by myself, not in live, it gives me it gives me a chance to look at things. Like most everybody, I get in a hurry sometimes and I forget to stop and look. See what I've got. There we go.
Andy Bundy Rose just come in. Evening, Andy.
Hey, Andy.
Kev is just commenting about the weather. He's saying it's 14 degrees where he is. Well, I must be having a lucky, Kev, because it's been really warm here today, and that is going to carry on all through the weekend, as far as I believe.
Yeah. Seems like Paul was saying yesterday that his shop was awfully warm. I can't do it in my head. We're in the upper 70s today here. I guess that'd be what upper teens for you all.
I'll tell you the truth, Doug. Yeah, well, I'm of that age where I still work in Fahrenheit when it comes to temperature.
Okay, so you know about where I'm talking about. Mid 70s is
Yeah, I
pretty
know what you're
comfortable.
talking about. That's warm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's warm, but it's not hot. You can still live with it.
that's it. Yeah.
All right, we've got.
So Gerard is saying, Doug, come on, tell me, is it really a chef's jacket or a smock?
Gerard, yes, it is a chef's jacket. Myself and a friend, a turning friend in Canada, we were looking along with some others for smocks and for good prices. And someone suggested, "Hey, look at this site here and look in their clearance section." And so we both turned immediately, and we both saw this same jacket, and both said we wanted it at the same time. The black with the red piping, it just to us it just looked good. So him in
It does look
Canada,
good.
he lives in Canada, and the shipping would have been outrageous. And so I ordered two, one for myself and one for him. And once they came in, I turned around and put it in a shipping envelope to him, and we're both happy. So it's all good. I was a little worried because it's a cotton fabric. I was worried the dust would stick to it, but it doesn't. I can take my compressor after a while and blow a little air, and I will be as clean as I was when I started, or pretty close to it anyway. The blue one that I've got that is actually it's a actual turning smock from the AAW, and that thing it has gotten stained over the years, and I cannot make it come clean. Run it through the washer, and it's terrible.
Yeah, can you imagine what mine look like?
Oh, your tan one, yeah. I first got it, it was great, but now it looks like it's been through the ringer.
I'm just going to have a look because it's my other hobby, if you like, is cooking.
Yeah,
So I used Nisbets. That's it. There's a website over here in the UK. I don't know if Gerard's actually ever used it in his work life, but it's Nisbets, and I tend to buy all of my trousers. I buy chef's trousers from Nisbets. I've never even thought about buying a chef's jacket for turning in.
yeah. Well, it this one has worked out nicely. I really enjoyed it. I'm glad I got it. So,
Right, Brian
and
with
it,
the Y. Brian with the Y has said his smock is a cagoule. And now a cagoule is a bit of a rain type jacket, Doug. A
uh-huh.
cagoule from a charity shop and it cost them €3.
Okay. This wasn't much more. Now this is end grain that I'm turning, and so yeah, I know I'm going the wrong direction. However, I'm just trying to get it started.
Do you want to put the tailstock cam on,
We can
Doug?
do that. That's a good idea. There we go.
There you go. Yeah, so Roy's just seen some on the site for £11.49, which is not a bad price.
Yeah. Seems like this one, I don't remember exactly. Seems like it was about $11, something like that. Okay, raise it up just a little bit. I want to run this
Similar
drill
sort of
bit in.
price these days.
Yeah. It was on clearance, and they've got an updated version that
Gerard
was
said
he's
got. Yeah. Gerard said he's got plenty of jackets, obviously because he works in the trade. About 10 for work in the kitchen and 5 for going outside of the carvery. And they do have Nisbets in Ireland, and he uses them for his uniforms, but short sleeves. I haven't, tell you the truth, I haven't been on the Nisbet site for a while. I must go and have a look. Oh, Lucy's here. Evening, Lucy.
Lucy.
And Roger Kent has just come in as well. And William Kenny's just come in as well. Good evening, William.
Hey, William. All right. There we go.
For those of you who have come in a bit late, Doug tonight is doing the hashtag week. He's doing a handbell, and he's going to be colouring it with Space Dust. It's red and gold.
Yes, red and gold.
Yeah, and Tim from TFT Turning's just come in, or TF Turning, I should say.
Hello, Tim.
And Lucy said she's pleased to see she's at home for this one tonight. Nobody's asked yet, Doug. What size of piece of wood are you working with?
All right. Give me just half a second. I'll tell you.
Yeah, no problem. While you're doing that, Mike from Dances with Aardvarks has just come in.
Hey, Mike. All right. This started out as a 6-inch long. It was the widest part was about 3 inches in diameter. All right, just clean out one more time here. That's not bad at all. All right. Switch you guys back over to the overhead here.
So Gerard has said all of his jackets have the name of the pub, his name, and the Irish and French flag. But he's going to block out the pub name and when he uses them in the shed at the lathe when he's fully retired.
This one is going to be embroidered on the right side with my name and with wood spun around.
Is that the ordinary overhead? Is that the ordinary overhead or the zoom in one, Doug?
This is the ordinary. Think we ought to try the zoom?
Right, you might be as well with the zoom. Yeah,
we can try it. And if it gets to be
Andy from Dorset.
Yeah.
Come in. That's better.
All right. Give myself a little mark so I know where the top of this bell is, plus a little breathing room.
See, now, for people who don't know, that is one of the cheapest depth gauges you can buy.
That's him. Also, your thickness gauge. It works real good for a thickness gauge. Yes, sir.
And thickness gauge as well. Yes, definitely.
I know some folks are,
And Roy said, and it's free.
and it's free. Free is good, right, Roy? I'm using a 3-inch spindle gouge right now. This this spinning wheel was turned and built about 65, 70 years
Brian
ago.
said, yeah, Brian said, and it self heals if it gets damaged.
Yeah. There you go.
Oh, there you go. There you
Yeah,
go.
I got it pretty good Friday night. But it was not on the lathe, thank goodness. I was cutting pin blanks to size, and it jumped out of the saw and hit my thumb. The only thing I can figure was that I was not holding the wood tight enough. There we go. Now we're starting to get a bell shape.
You should go onto Jake's channel and have a look at the hold down he's got for when he's cutting his pen blanks.
Yeah. That is I've seen it, and I started to order the pieces up to make one, but I cut my pen blanks on the chop saw, and so that would not work for me, unfortunately. But I could probably come up with another jig to hold it. All right, I think.
Okay, now Kev's just come in with a comment that he got another good result. He always seems to get good results with either buying stuff or getting stuff for free. He's got a plane, a saw, a sander, small pieces of boxes. I think that might be boxwood, all turned up for free. And Roy's said he has actually gotten loads of stuff for free, repaired them, cleaned them, and sold them for 100% profit.
Well, absolutely.
Oh, and Kev's come back. Kev's come back and said, and a radial arm saw on a stand.
Oh, there you go.
You know, there's sometimes I just hate people who are called Kev. Right, Mike from Dances with Aardvarks said he got his first injury yesterday. A bit of bark flew off and gave him a black thumbnail.
Oh my.
Today I was trimming, I take it that's grass he was trimming, and a stone flew up and gave him a second black thumbnail. Well, you've got to have a pair. Right, Andy from AJK is just come in and said, hello everyone. Doug, he is sorry he's still stuck at work. Not a problem, Andrew?
I'm sorry. He said what?
Yeah, you are. Roy just said, sorry, he said, hello everyone. Doug, I'm sorry, I'm still stuck at work.
Oh, okay. I had the vacuum on, so I couldn't hear. I barely heard what you said. So, okay, that's fine.
All right, okay. So Roy has said he's teaching these people. You're obviously not teaching me, Roy. I'm getting bugger all for nothing. And Douglas Mungham's just come in. Good evening, Douglas. Now I've got to ask Doug, are you putting a clanger in this, or you're not bothering?
Okay, now that I turned the noisemaker off, what was your question? What'd you ask?
Sorry, Doug. Are you putting a clanger in the bell? Are you putting a clanger in the bell, or you're not going to bother?
I probably will later. I won't bother tonight. But I kind of have a plan for that. I've got a small divot up in the very top. And what I'll probably do is put a little screw eye in there and just turn like a little wood button to go in there. It won't be much because it won't ring anyway. But or I may do like somebody suggested the other night, put just a little bell for a pet collar. So it won't ring, it'll ding-a-ling.
Roy has just corrected me there and said it's a clapper.
Clapper, yeah.
I know. I did know it was Roy. It's just I forgot the name. It's me age.
Just giving it a quick sand from 100 up to 320.
That's Andy the Valley Wood Turner and Stumpy. I did say hello to him earlier on. He obviously missed it.
Yeah, I heard it. Andy and Stumpy. I'm a little surprised Andy doesn't sleep on the couch sometimes.
No, well, to tell you the truth, I don't think he does. I think he sleeps on the floor outside.
Oh, out on the porch, huh?
Yeah. Oh no, not even the porch. In the garden.
Oh, out in the garden.
gravel.
Okay.
Not even on the grass.
the driveway, as we call it. What do y'all call a driveway?
We call it the driveway, Doug.
Oh, okay. Okay. I'm gonna have to reverse that. It's got a little spot in there that's not wanting to smooth out. Reverse. And I'll back up to 150. Yeah, I have a hard time keeping up with some of the differences. Like for us, it's a parking lot, and y'all call it a car park, don't you? Where a whole lot of people park. Yeah. Oh, that's much better. Much better. It's amazing what reversing it sometimes to.
Oh, Mick Hughes has just come in. Good evening, Mick.
Hey, Mick. All right. In fact, I don't need that on just now. Move some of these ons and ends. Get my board up here. I was telling Wayne earlier, I was intending with my practice piece to do part of it with black paint and part of it with just bare wood, see which one came out. And I happened to read the instructions, something I hardly ever do. But it said very clearly, use a gloss black finish of some sort before you use this other stuff. And I'm sure it's like all these other things that we use, it uses that black to reflect off of. So we'll let that be that. And that's just some black spray enamel.
A lot of these different colors tend to recommend using black.
Yeah, yeah. Especially if they're metallic or color shifting of any kind. Use my high dollar Wife changed out her hair dryer. She said, "You can have this one." Actually, that's not true. This one came from my dad. My dad, he hadn't got much hair left, and he had not used this one. In fact, he had it out in the shop. And my mother had gotten a new one, and so she gave him her old one. So he was using it and told me to take this one home. I've used it ever since, but it works.
Good. That's what you need. I tell you
Yeah.
while you're doing that, Doug, and getting on doing other stuff, you want to give us your thoughts on what the AAW was like at the weekend?
Oh yeah. Turn that fan down just a little bit, and I can get a little closer while I do that. AAW, I went the cheap route, and I went to the trade show in the gallery. And that is of no charge whatsoever. I had to register just so they could keep count on how many people were there, but I did not have to pay for any of that. I took, I think it was 150 pictures in the gallery, and you can see those. In fact, I've put them up on YouTube under my channel, and have already gotten quite a number of views on it. So feel free to go look at that another time. Some beautiful work from very, very simple, no more complicated than what we're doing here today, to some pieces that are just, you scratch your head and you know how they did it, but you ask yourself, how did they do that? There was some piercing that just, I've seen some great piercing before. Ben Foe, some of his piercing is phenomenal. But there was some stuff there that was finer than insect wings. Some of these insects that have their wings are not a solid surface. It's just the little skeletal area, but in the wing, that's what some of this stuff looked like. It was that fine. And there are pictures in there. Some wonderful basket illusion work. Not a run in the bunch, which I wouldn't suspect there would be in that gallery. People work all year, sometimes 2 years, to get a piece perfect for that gallery. There was a few pieces that I just did not understand. What's the point? Didn't make sense to me. But I'm sure if I'd have known what a title was or the story behind it, it would probably make perfectly good sense. I just didn't happen to know those stories. But anyway, the gallery, I walked through up and down those tables 3 or 4 times, and still felt like I could have done it another time or two, just to see some of the details in some of the pieces.
And that's a huge area, isn't it?
Oh, yes.
The gallery is a huge area, isn't it?
Right. There, like I said, I took 150 pictures, and I didn't get, I got 2/3 to 3/4 of all the pieces. I didn't get them all. There was just too many. And some, they had the auction on some before I started taking my pictures, so I didn't get them. Some of those were fabulous as well. And that auction is kind of amazing.
I saw what.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I saw what price Ronald D. Campbell's bird went for today. I think that went for about $1,000.
Yep. There was 2 or 3 pieces that were right at 1,000. There was one that was up like 2,300. It was a gorgeous piece. I didn't see $2,300 there, but it was beautiful. There was one piece I started a bid on it.
That would probably have been a collector.
Yeah, it was. And he was sitting right up front too. There was one piece. It started at $75. I started to throw a bid in because it was slow getting started. And as soon as it started, it went from $75 to over $900 in about, 30 seconds or so. It was crazy to watch. So, But that was the gallery, and then there was the trade show. When I walked in, very first person I saw, Glenn Senior. He come right up to me, and we started to chat and talk, and just had a good time. I tell you what, I'm gonna do.
Excellent.
I'm gonna let that continue to cure a little bit. I'm gonna work on this back section, the handle section, a little bit, and we'll come back and put the space dust on it. Yeah, Glenn came out. We had a good chat. I told him I refused to do what Joe asked me to do. She had asked me Thursday or Friday, give him a big kiss. I told her, nope.
No, you don't do that with Glenn. No.
Glenn was thankful. He said, good. Let's see. Before I get started on
apart from anything else, Doug, you'd have to bend down too far.
That's part of it. I'm not much taller than Glenn, but I am taller.
Andy's Cornish Creations has just come in. Good evening, Andy.
Hi, Andy. All right, let's see. I'm going to switch tools here. I'm going to take the Pete Ravencraft philosophy. I've got them, so why not use them, right? I'm going to use my little dinky rough and gouge. I really need to try to get a bigger one. Like I said, it's just a little dinky one, right?
It is.
What is that? I've measured it before and I never can remember. That's a full 2 inches.
That's around about 2 inch. Yeah, I think the last time I used a rough and gouge that big was at Martin Saban Smith's workshop around about 5 years ago. Todd has said, is that rough and gouge used on log cabins? Yep, probably, Todd. Probably. And Andy Bundy Rose said he has to get Lucy to stand on a step stool so he can give her a kiss.
I got this rough and gouge many years ago. There were some fellas talking about buy yourself a rough and gouge. Let me put it up here so you can see it and you can understand better. Instead of having it upright, they said put it on your grinder table upside down. So it's, the curve, there we go. The curve is down or the bottom is up. But grind it then instead of this angle, grind it with the opposite angle. And that way you could use it as a scraper that would never catch. Well, I got it, and they kept saying get a big one, so I did. Found a 2-inch one, secondhand. I didn't pay, but I think it was $15 delivered, and it was too big for what I wanted to do. If you had a 1-inch, that might be a good tool. Turn it upside down and grind it that way.
What you can actually do also, you can also sharpen the edges of the rough and gouge and use it as a parting tool.
Yeah. Going back to a 1/2-inch spindle or a 1/2-inch
Douglas
skew.
said that I turned a finial with a big rough and gouge. Well, I might have roughed down a finial with the rough and gouge. I don't think I actually finished turning it with the rough and gouge, but thanks for that, Douglas. And Rob's in from Klingsborg. Good evening.
Hey, Rob. Talk to some of your compatriots, Rob. The guys from Klingsborg, US. They were at the AAW. Very nice, very helpful.
Just for you, Rob. Doug's just been talking about the AAW. This is something that Rob and I have talked about in the past. That over here in the UK, Klingspor has been bigger with metalwork and car restoration than it has with woodwork. Whereas in the States, Klingspor is bigger with woodwork.
Right. They were funny.
And
I
Rob
was,
from Copper Owl is in as well.
hey, Copper. I was talking with the Klingspor guys about their sample pack, and I was buying them, and I said something about it, about you guys and everything, and they said the one guy I was talking to, he was saying that his boss really gave him down the road for selling that. Was it J-Back that they were, or J-Flex that he was selling for wood, and his boss kept saying that's not for wood, it's for metal. So this guy said, I don't care what it's for. It works a treat on wood, and that's what I'm going to sell it for.
Okay.
So I got eight sheets or 8 strips. They were 2-inch wide strips. They're in a package that's pre-labeled $10, but I think we paid $7 each for them. So I was pretty happy with that to give it a try. And all right, get my spindle gouge back out.
And Robert Klingspor has said, rightly, if it works, then it works.
Exactly. All right. Something tells me that spindle gouge is getting dull. So I'm going to switch it out for my bigger one. Let's see. Started to put my skew away, but I'll be using it again here in just a minute.
Oh, this is how much Mark, the gentleman woodturner, thinks of you, Doug. Hello, pub, beer, goodbye.
Well, he said the other day that that he wouldn't be in any shape to turn, but if the ladies would let he and Pete go, they might drop in. That's what he's done. Dropped in.
He's dropped in, he's dropped back out.
Yeah. Goodness, this walnut is hard.
Roy is asking you, Doug, what size spindle is that?
What size gouge?
I think he's talking about the gouge.
Yeah, the spindle gouge. This one is a.
Yeah.
The other one was a 1/2 inch. This one is a 5/8.
Okay. Now, 5/8 to us is a 1/2 inch because we measure across the flute, not across the bar.
Right. This is the bar. Yeah. Across the bar. This one is 5/8. So it would be a half. Yeah, right at a 1/2 inch for you all. On a spindle.
1/2 inch to us.
On,
Yeah.
on spindle gouge, y'all do across
Yeah.
the flute. Okay. I know you did it with the bowl gouge.
Well, see, sometimes I think it was Mike Walt did a video one time about the different measurements. And when it comes to spindle gouges, when it comes to bull gouges, we measure across the flute, and I know
Right.
you in the States measure across the bar. When it
Right.
comes to spindle gouges, it really doesn't matter because you get all different sorts of sizes over here anyway.
That's true.
Douglas is asking, is the gouge metal treated as it's black? Is there a Doug Thompson spindle gouge?
In fact, it is. This is a Doug Thompson. So it
Yeah.
is. It's cryogenically treated.
Yeah. Yes, I recognised it straight away as soon as he started using it. And Doug Thompson has played about with metals a hell of a lot over the years. And that one is, like Doug said, cryogenically treated, which means it goes through a freezing process. Pretty much the Crown tools in the UK do a similar type of thing, although it doesn't come out black. And Robert from Hodgepodge has just come in. Evening, Robert.
Hello,
and
Hodge.
probably Harry as well.
I would assume so. They're kind of inseparable, those two. All right, I'm going to turn the vac on and sand this handle down. Yeah.
No problem. Any questions for Doug? I will ask them after he stops sanding. I've got that, Robert. I'll ask it after he stops sanding. Douglas is asking me, are the cryo ones any better than high-speed steel? They are still high-speed steel, Douglas. They've just gone through a different process, and they are very good. The Simon Hope bull gouges that he sells, either handled or unhandled, are from Crown. They have gone through the cryo process.
All right. Yeah, I heard your explanation there. That's exactly right. They are. Most of them are still high-speed steel. Every once in a while, you find some that are they're a powder metal that has been brought together under heat and pressure, and then it's cryogenically treated. But the big advantage of these is that they hold an edge a little longer. Kind of like
I think
Wayne.
what happens within the cryo process. What happens within the cryo process, and you've got to see this under a microscope to see, it actually lines up the pieces of steel in line. So you get a piece of steel, which takes a better edge and takes a long time to dull.
Yes.
And that's
yes.
the whole point of it. Now, Robert Hodgepodge has got a question for you, Doug. Did you buy anything fun at the AW, or did you spend any money at all?
I did.
Now, that last bit was from me.
I did spend some money. Oh, let's turn that off so I can do it by hand. I bought something you guys in England don't seem to have a problem with, but we can't. We can find them, but they're expensive. The light pull drives. I bought a light pull drive
All right, okay.
with the drill bit, and real pleased that I got it. They were being sold at a decent price, but then because of the show, we got a 10% discount. Now this is hilarious. This is looking green to me. Well, y'all can see that. Um,
Yeah, it is looking green, but the thing is, what you've got to remember with these paints, it all depends on the light.
yeah,
It really does all depend on the light. If Doug had a different light on this, or once he shows it to the camera, once he's finished, you will see the color change in this, and it's absolutely amazing. It really is.
yeah.
Kev's asking, is this space dust spray? Now, Doug is using it with an airbrush. I've never used it with an airbrush. I've always painted it on.
But the label does say it's an airbrush paint.
It is definitely an airbrush paint.
I'm having to look at it fairly close to see that it's actually coming out. But it is. It is.
Roy is asking what paint is it? It's space dust. I think is it by Artesia?
Yeah, I'll show you the package here. The Schiffers. No, Vallejo.
No, Vallejo. Sorry. Yeah, Vallejo. You can get 3 or 4. Roy, this is for Roy. You can get 3 or 4 different sets. There's a space dust one, and there's a few other sets you can actually get, which are and they are the color change. The color change paints. So
Yeah.
when you have them in a different light, they obviously change colors.
Well, I'm
They're
amazed.
absolutely brilliant. I love them.
Yeah, I'm amazed at how it goes on. The little cup on this. There it is. You can see the cup is pretty small. Normally, when I use this particular airbrush, it empties out so quick. But I've only used about half of the cup and gotten a pretty good coat on there already. But as Wayne said, as it dries and as the color changes, um, it really is pretty amazing at how it will do. I'll show you the practice piece that I did last night here in just a minute.
Mind you, Kev has said that your chuck looks blue as well, and it does actually.
It is blue. It is blue.
Oh right, okay, that's probably why it looks blue then.
It's supposed to be black. It is blue because I did that blue Moroccan blue bowl about a year ago,
Yes.
and the paint got on it. And like a few other folks that I kind of, they're my internet mentors. I just don't bother to clean it off. I can't imagine who that might have been.
No, yeah, funnily enough.
Oddly enough, yours is blue too, isn't it? Or some color.
Yeah, well, it's mainly black, but it's supposed to be steel looking.
Oh, okay. It's a color it's not supposed to be. Or maybe what color it is this week.
Yeah, I'm pleased you did that, Doug, because Kev has just said, don't knock the pot off because the lid isn't on it.
Exactly. Well, you got to squeeze it pretty hard to get paint out of it. Okay, we're going to let that run slow for just a minute while it sets up. In fact, I'll get my high dollar paint dryer out here. Make sure the dust is out of it first. And honestly, that paint
That's
is
the
probably...
best. Now you see what Doug did there. Doug actually switched it on, before you started pointing it at the piece. And the
Absolutely.
reason you do that, in case any dust gets in there, you're not spraying dust on the paint.
Oh, good. Only been going 50 minutes. We're right now pretty close to done. Excellent. I do have one little mark that I'll need to
No,
go
would-
back up here
Yeah,
and
you
fix.
would do it.
What's that?
Yeah, you're doing fine, Doug. Don't worry about
Okay.
the time.
Okay.
I say you're doing fine. Don't worry about the time.
Excellent. Well, I've got one little mark up here that I'll go back later and fix where I touched it with one of the tools. Knocked the black off, but that's not a big deal. I may sand the whole thing back and give it a really good sanding. This one looks, I like it better than the first one I did. Let's see. While I'm thinking about it, here's the first one, which came out more of a, looks kind of pink. That's what I say that was, orange violet. And it came out kind of pinky
Yeah, orange
violet.
violet, that one was. And there is a lot of violet in there.
Yeah. It'll sit there. We'll leave it sitting right there. And
Kevin
then
said, Doug. Kev said, Doug, there's some weird beep, 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 beep going on with that paint. And Douglas has said, please remember the like button. And Ruby's just come in and said,
Hey,
it's
Ruby.
looking good, Doug.
Hey, you Ruby. Just a little conversation starter there. Dun, dun, dun. Get it so there's no glare on it. There it is.
For those of you who don't know what Conversation Starter is, that is Sanding Sealer.
That got to be
And
quite
Shane's
the joke,
just
didn't
come
it?
in. Good evening,
Shane.
Shane. It did, yeah. Good evening, Shane.
Just a little bit of gloss on this stuff, and it really begins to bring some of those colors out.
Douglas has said, Wayne, what does it do? It starts conversations, Douglas.
Absolutely. Especially if your name is Ashley.
Especially if your name is Ashley.
Yeah, yeah. Haven't seen Ashley in quite a while.
Right, Lucy's asking Wayne, why do you call it conversation? No, she's around and about, busy working.
Yeah, yeah.
Lucy's asking, why do you call it Conversation Starter? Well, Lucy, when Ashley used to come into the chat, she always asked what Sanding Sealer was. And that started conversations. So we started calling it Conversation Starter.
All right. That's got most of the tackiness out of it.
That's looking
And
pretty cool, Doug, I've got to say.
I'll turn right around and put a little top coat on it. Now this is, I like the Deft product. It's hard to find here. So I get this. It's a Rust-Oleum lacquer simply because it's readily available.
Rust-Oleum is readily available in the UK as well, and I, as a spray-on lacquer, I do use it a lot as well.
It's a good product. There's not a thing wrong with it.
No, definitely not. It
Yeah.
works.
Deft is one of the old names here, and it does a super fine job. When I was talking to the guys at Klingspor, they sell it, and he was telling me that he thinks that Deft may be going out of business. If they do, there's a lot of people here in the States who will be quite upset having to find a new finish. A little There it goes.
Kevin 9K Creations is asking a question. Rust-Oleum, B&Q, yes, B&Q or Home Base. I don't think Wix do it, but certainly B&Q and Home Base do.
Yeah.
Oh, and Halfords, the motor store, they do it as well.
Here in the United States,
In fact, I usually buy mine from Halfords.
Yeah. Here in the U.S., you can find it everywhere. Walmart.
That's yeah. I mean, Halfords is a like a well, not a spare part, an after service type thing.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, even we've got a discount store that's like every other neighborhood called Dollar Store. I can get it there. And the nice thing is, it's about the same price no matter where I go. So it's not terribly expensive. So I use a lot of it.
Now, Mike has just put in that Hobbycraft. We got a store over here called Hobbycraft that
Okay.
do a lot of different crafty stuff, including painting and stuff. And they do some interesting Rust-Oleum stuff like crackle and stone paints.
Sure.
Now the spray on crackle stuff, I've never used it because I tend to use the Joe Sonia's ones. But the spray, I have seen people use the crackle stuff, and it's brilliant. And Wivey Woodshed, who I haven't mentioned, but Wivey Woodshed's in. Hobbycraft also sell Rust-Oleum as well.
Good. Yeah, they're a big company.
Oh, they are. And the thing is, it works.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's usually cheaper than buying stuff directed at woodturners.
Oh, yes, yes. Now, I know Martin would be appalled, but I'm not going to go through and put 20 coats of lacquer on this. As soon as this is touchable, I'm going to go ahead and part it off. Well, I keep unplugging it. There we go.
You see that practice piece sitting on the lathe bed at the moment, Doug? That looks really purple at the moment.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is kind of what it's supposed to do. I'm surprised this one looks as green as it does. Red gold. And it's as well. There we go. If I get it up here close enough, you still can't see it. It's as pink as it can be in the bottle.
Yeah, I know.
Pink, pink, pink.
I wonder. Oh, can't be. I was going to say something there, but it was going to be stupid, so I'll not bother. Oh, Eva's just come in from the Cat and Fish Crafting. Evening, Eva. Haven't seen you for ages.
All right. That's down where I can.
Now, Robert from Hodgepodge. Robert from Hodgepodge is asking, is that the same hairdryer you used back in the 80s when you had long flowing hair down to your shoulders?
I did have long flowing hair on my shoulders, but no, it is not. It's from my bald-headed dad gave me that particular dryer. That poor guy. When I was a child, and he was, I don't know, in his 40s maybe, he had a little spot on the back of his head, and every time I walked behind him, I'd take my hand and rub on it.
Kev at 9K Creations is asking, is crackle like hammerite, which is smoothite with an additive? I absolutely don't know the answer to that question, Kev. I have got no idea. Mike from Dancers has said he likes the Tetrasil lacquer. You can't breathe that stuff, but it's a great finish. And I get from that you've got to use it with a lot of air around you, probably outside. We are all. Eva's asking, "Hi everybody, how are you doing? We all doing fine, Eva. It's nice seeing."
All right. Parting it off. I'm just using a. This is an old tenon. I was just gonna say this is an old tenon that I've drilled a hole in and put a slice in it. Then when I put it in the chuck, it squeezes that down on the mandrel. This is a homemade mandrel. I'm just gonna stick a little 150 on it, and gotta unlatch my spindle. I'm gonna turn it down. I had it at 1800. Let's go on down to 800. Holding it very lightly because it's still
Robert
tacky.
is saying, Robert's asking a question. Was that a converted steak knife parting tool?
I'll show it to you here as soon as I. Oh, there it is. Not quite. It's a kitchen knife. But it gives me a nice. Well, I've taken the blade off of it from here down, and this is dulled, but I've cut it back even further. But it gives me a nice thin parting tool. And then for when I really want something thin, that's a reciprocating saw blade. So I've got two that'll cut pretty thin kerf. But this one, I use this a lot.
There you go, guys. You use what you can use.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Eva said, "That's awesome, Wayne. I think it's you speaking." Yes, Eva, it is me speaking.
Here we go. A red one and a green one. Let's see if I put this board up here, you can see them even better.
Just remember the additive is silicon.
There you go. There's my hashtag week.
There you go.
Nice little bells. I'll probably come back, put a little screw eye up on the inside of both of these and tie either a little wood bead onto it or maybe even a little pet bell. I've got a couple of those laying around somewhere if I can find them. They're not going to ring. They clunk at best. No. So, it is what it is. And it's, the whole idea was to get in your shop and to do something that maybe you wouldn't normally do. And so that's what this is. Used
now Roy has just put in there. He made it. He made a parting tool for his Hope quick chain system. Eva has just put in. Are those the ones I need for when she starts calling her servants? Kev has put in. He prefers the green, and get your clapper made. Lucy's put in really pretty, and the colours are gorgeous. And the colours are gorgeous.
They're nice colors, and they go on so nicely.
The thing is, at the moment, they do look like a single colour, but I can testify, I've used these colours in the past. They do colour change.
Right. If I could take them outside, if I could take a camera outside and see the sunlight, I imagine they'd kind of go crazy. All kinds of colors there.
Oh yeah, they'd pop.
Yep. That's it. Used a skew.
Ben's just come in right at the end.
Ben.
That's good for us. That means he can't. That means. Yeah, but the Ben's in right there. That's good for us. That means he can't make any comments.
Oh, yeah. We used a skew. We used 2 different size spindle gouges. Well, in fact, we used 2 different size skews. I used a 1 inch and a 1/2 inch. Used a 1/2 and a 5/8 spindle gouge, and we used a thin parting tool. Oh, and we did just for fun, used a big roughing gouge. So, you don't have to have a lot of tools. This could have
Oh
been done
yes.
all with a bowl gouge and a parting tool, or spindle gouge and a parting tool, either one. So it's a fun little project, easy little project. Um, you've got golly, a week from Friday to get pictures into Steve at SK Crafts. You can get in on it as well. So I hope you will. We've been getting more and more people participating and sending their pictures in. So it's been a lot of fun to see how
Oh,
everybody
definitely,
interprets.
definitely. I know.
Yeah.
Stacey Smith. Stacey Smith is already put photographs up on Facebook. My
Yeah.
live tomorrow night. I will be doing the hashtag week. I will be doing a handbell tomorrow night.
There you go. Look forward to it.
There you go.
There you go. You can see a little better that way. Yahoo. Well, I just realized what my problem was. This end camera is supposed to be down just a bit more. One of these days, I'm going to have everything set perfectly. Then I'll rearrange the whole thing.
Oh,
Very good.
give it some time. I've been doing this for bloody years now. I've got it set perfectly.
Oh, it's fun. It's fun. I do want to get a couple of more cameras. I want to get a couple over on my big bowl lathe. I'd love to do a couple things over there. It's like
Oh
It's
yes.
like you turn it on your VB36. It's just fun turning on that big lathe.
Yeah, but all I do with the VB all I do with the VB36, I've just got an extra camera that I just slot in as an extra when I'm doing
Right.
the VB.
Right. Yep. I don't have the extra camera. I've got one that I want to.
Sorry, I explained that wrong. I move.
Yeah.
I just move a camera to a different setting when I'm doing the VB.
Sure. Yeah. These I don't. Well, I can't. The way mine are set up right now, I can't turn them. It's pretty well dedicated right here. I could go that way with both of them,
Okay.
but I can't go that way. That's the way I got to go for that big bowl lathe. So, but I'll get it.
All right.
I've got an old SLR, digital SLR that I might be able to use and get set up for over there. That would be great. But I've got to experiment with it to see if it'll work. So anyway, there it is, guys. Hashtag handbell. So just a fun little project, something fun to do. Let me bring Wayne back in.
Oh, no
There.
need. No need.
There we are. I saw you had your pants on.
There I am.
JP had been invited. He couldn't be with us. Same with AGK. Precious couldn't be here.
JP's a bit, yeah, JP's a bit busy, and Andy AGK got held. Oh, I just went off there.
You froze.
I'm back.
You're there. I hear you, but you're froze. Anyway,
It was a good live
AGK.
look.
Well, we're still on. AGK is stuck at work. Something was coming in, and he was having to wait on it. It was stuck in traffic. So, anyhow, it's all good. And Wayne, I'm so grateful for you being here. Thanks everybody, all of you who came to see the shenanigans, and hope you'll come back again next time. Not sure when that'll be, but hopefully it'll be real soon. So, Wayne, you want to say goodbye?
We will see. Night, everybody.
Good night.